Over the course of reviewing 22 cookbooks this year, we reviewed nearly 200 recipes. But which ones made our top 10? Stick around to find out. Greetings and welcome to, or welcome back to PB with Jay. Here on the channel, we focus on all things plant-based goodness. Earlier in the week, we did a video where we showed you of the 22 cookbooks that we reviewed this year, which ones were our top 10. If you missed that video, there's a link in the description down below. But the question you might have had was, which of those recipes was our favorite? And the number one recipe is actually something Annie went back for seconds. And what's extra interesting is that some of the recipes that are on this list aren't even from books that were in our top 10. So you're gonna get even more book suggestions here. And to help you figure out what that cookbook is, we will put it on a lower third on the video. And also in the description down below, I've got a link to an Amazon cart that will take you to all the cookbooks that we reviewed over the course of reviewing on this channel, in case you wanna pick up any of the books. Doing it there helps us out. So, you do that if you wanna pick up the book. And if you're looking for some recipes that you can add to your top 10 this year, consider picking up our new cookbook. The cookbook is mostly available as an ebook, but we are doing a very limited run of print copies. So if you haven't pre-ordered one of these, email me right here and I will see if I can add you to the waiting list. Otherwise, you can pick up the ebook today at the link in the QR code that's already on the screen. All right, before we get into these recipes, I'd like to give a quick hello to some of the people who said hello to us in the comments down below. Gina from Springfield, Missouri. Tracy from Canyon, Texas. Emma from Rushden in the United Kingdom. Linda from New York City. Charlene from Springfield, Massachusetts, home of the Basketball Hall of Fame. Tiffany from Texas. Sue from Seymour, Tennessee, close to the Great Smoky Mountains and Dolly Parton's birthplace. Wooly will like that. She's a big Dolly Parton fan. Courtney from Omaha, Nebraska. Constance from Amsterdam in the Netherlands. Claudia from Saddlebrook, Arizona. Trisha from Webster, Massachusetts. And Danette from Pottstown, Pennsylvania, known for its history in the metal industry with projects that include the Golden Gate Bridge and the Panama Canal. I like it when you guys send us fun facts. That's enjoyable for me. Hopefully you enjoy hearing them as well. If you want to shout out here on the channel, all you have to do is say hello to us in the comments down below. Let us know who you are, where you're from, and actually, what's your favorite meal you've made this year? Obviously, if you want to bump up in that list, consider joining us over the Mighty Network for that perk, along with many, many others. All for the price of a crappy cup of coffee a month. All right, now let's get to the top 10 recipes that we enjoyed this year. Coming in at number 10, we have the General So Tofu by Chuck Underwood from his book, Brand New Vegan. Tonight for dinner, I'm gonna make this spicy General So Tofu. Tofu. Hi. We've made lots of stir fries. This is a stir fry essentially. I'm gonna serve it with some rice noodles, I believe. Here's one of my challenges with this book. The order of information, if you're not the kind of person who, like my wife, reads the recipe all the way through, and I know people should just do that, but a lot of you don't, let's be honest. You could get to one point where you're like, wait a minute, I have to add 45 minutes to this? Like, none of Chuck's recipes have how many people it serves, how long it takes, and just the order of things is confusing too. It's like, he puts the sauce up first and then the stir fry, but you need to press the tofu, you need to marinate it, and then you need to bake it for 45 minutes. The sauce takes, I don't know, 5 minutes to make, maybe? Put that second in your recipe. It's just confusing and I think could cause people some real frustration. What this one does that's really cool that I haven't done before is soaking the tofu and marinating it for a little bit in the pineapple juice from the can. That's brilliant. I don't know why that's something I never thought of before. I think you could, instead of baking the tofu in the oven for 45 minutes, you could probably air fry it for like 10, 15. 45 seems like a long time. But because I have time tonight, I'm gonna follow these instructions and see what we think of that. That said, there's nothing in here I need to change because all of Chuck's stuff is whole food, plant-based. So I'm gonna make this as is. He's got a great variety of vegetables in here. Annie won't love the mushrooms, but I'll have those on the side. Now I'll put the cashews on the side too, so that Wooly can take leftovers for lunch if she wants. So the one thing I don't have from this recipe is mirin. You can substitute that with something like a dry sherry or a sweet Marcello wine. If you don't have either of those, which we don't either, you can use rice vinegar. The only thing you need to do is add just a little bit of sweetener, like some coconut sugar or some maple syrup. just to counteract the sourness to give it the same kind of flavor for every tablespoon or so. Because this already has sugar in it, this recipe, I'm not gonna worry about that. It just calls for 3 tablespoons sugar. I'm gonna use corn. I'm gonna use corn. Coconut sugar. What do you think, Annie?
Good. Like stir fries.
Yeah.
Tastes gingery. It tastes like a good sauce that Mommy would make.
A good sauce that Mommy would make. What's your rating?
S.
S.
Actually, A.
An A.
It's so good.
Yeah.
And he just gave me bonus mushrooms.
Mmm. It's really good. Oh
Why
wow.
is there pineapple in here?
Because that's what's in it.
So it's called pineapple. It's meant to be more like a Chinese kind of dish, like a General Tso.
I don't know. It's really good. It's an S for me. I would make it every day.
What I liked is they had me marinate the tofu in pineapple juice, which let me just try the pineapple on its own. I think I don't know.
You mean
Can
the
you tell?
tofu on it, Tom?
Yeah, you marinate it.
I taste
Maybe
it a little bit.
sweet, yeah.
I taste it a little bit.
If you just have the if you have the
idea.
pineapple, this is delicious. It's really like I don't taste the tamari or the tahini, but it adds that's a nice alternative for like a peanut dressing that you can take to school. This is a keeper. I love it. This is my favorite recipe in this book so far. This is an S for me too. All right, Eve, what do you think?
It's pretty good. I just like the flavors. Kind of spicy, kind of sweet. Yeah, pineapple is nice. Water chestnuts, nice crunch. Yeah. Hey.
Nice. In our number 9 spot, we have got a dessert called Hockey Pucks, which comes to us courtesy of our friend Chef AJ and her book, Sweet Indulgence. I'm gonna make these hockey pucks. Hockey pucks, Eve. Eve is working on an outline for a video that he's gonna work on for the channel. What do you think? You want a video about school lunches made by a teenager? And snacks and stuff? How's it going? It's just a list so far. He's working on it.
3 things.
He's got 3 things so far. We'll get more in there. So for this, you need to make date paste. She's got a recipe for it in the book, and I'm actually trying out her method of doing it really, really fast, which is just doing it in the Instant Pot. So it's a pound of dates in the Instant Pot with 2 cups of water, and then you just cook it on high pressure for 1 minute. And then once it's cooled down enough to touch, you put it all into a food processor and blend it up. I'm also gonna half this recipe because it makes 24 and we don't need 24 of these things. So when you see what I make versus what's on the screen, just know I'm halving it. And because this first part of the recipe requires date paste, I'm not really gonna be too concerned about cleaning it out in between making the date paste and making this filling. Because with vanilla bean powder, we couldn't find any, so we're just gonna use a little vanilla extract. We're gonna blend that together until it's creamy, and then she just says to add a little bit of unsweetened plant milk, 1 tablespoon at a time, as needed, if the mixture doesn't process easily. I think you want to keep it pretty thick though. She says to place the filling in a 24-piece silicone brownie pan, available at cake decorating stores and online. I'm not gonna buy a unique special one-time piece of brownie pan thing for one recipe. So, and also they're supposed to be round, so I'm gonna put these in a muffin tin cup.
Has to be the same size as a hockey puck though.
It'll be the same size as a hockey puck. Calm down.
Has to be this size.
All right, can you keep this up here for reference? I have to make them this size.
And it's thick.
Cheapers. I'll do my best. That's a hefty dessert. It's just dates and peanuts, man.
It's called a hockey puck. Has to be like a hockey puck.
All right, fair enough.
It has to be that weight.
This weight?
And it has to be able to slide on ice.
All right, now you're pushing it. You freeze those into the little puck shapes, and then once they're frozen, you make the coating, where you go back to the food processor, now cleaned, and you grind the peanuts into a powder and add cocoa powder and more vanilla bean powder. We're gonna use the vanilla extract. And you process it briefly, and then you add enough dates until the mixture sticks together so you can form a ball. Place coating around each frozen peanut butter square and form into a hockey puck with your hands. And it says once hard, and then freeze again, I guess. The Instructions in my copy of this book might likely be different than the copy you get because this is an advanced reader's copy. So some of these things are still a work in progress.
That's really good. It's peanut buttery and more peanut buttery and chocolatey and more peanut buttery and really delicious. I would eat this again for sure. S. Too small.
Look at this.
You can try better next time, dear.
It's pretty damn good. It's basically just a Reese's cup.
Yeah, that's what she was trying to recreate, like a whole food plant-based Reese's cup.
What's like the spotted thing? It's actually states.
Peanuts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so what'd you give it?
Hey,
Nice.
this one. Take this one.
Oh! Yes.
I found that in the bushes at Greenwood Park.
Thanks a lot. Oh, wow. Yeah. That's fantastic. Huh, I didn't think I was gonna like it as much. I thought I would like it, but I didn't think I would like it this much. It's really, really good. Yeah, it's got all the flavors of a Reese, which is what she was going for. I can make these half the size and still feel...
It needs to be this size.
I would give this, I want a smaller portion, but I would give this an S for sure. Very good, very delicious. I would make these again.
I give it an A.
Yeah, what do you like about it?
It's a bit like stale stuff, but it's good.
Stale stuff.
Or like stale nuts.
Oh, that could just be the nuts are older.
Like you.
Thanks.
Bye.
Would you have more of those?
Mwah. Yes, I would.
Coming in at our number 8 spot, we have got a breakfast with Trinity Oats by Dr. Will Bolshevich and his cookbook, The Fiber Fueled Cookbook. So for my last recipe in this book, I'm gonna make these Trinity overnight oats for breakfast. I've made overnight oats about 1,000,000 times, but I've never done it with some of these spices like turmeric and ginger. I mean, it's nothing crazy, but I thought it'd be fun. And also dried dates. One thing they're doing in here is smashing up a banana to mix in with the overnight oats to make it creamier. I've done that too. What I'm gonna do is just mix it up in a magic bullet because it makes it super creamy that way. And then I'll save the rest of the banana to add to it. It's funny, for the additional toppings, you can add a teaspoon Granny Smith apple, a whole whopping teaspoon. I think that's because of the allergies associated with this book, so I will probably add an entire apple to this along with the rest of that banana. And then some walnuts and stuff. Oh, wow. Wow. That's delicious. I've never thought to put turmeric with oatmeal, especially a sweet kind of oatmeal, but it's kind of like having like a turmeric latte in your oatmeal, which I am here for all day long. This is an S for me because this is an idea I wouldn't have thought of. This is huge. I'm gonna do this a lot. This is like a little spice mix I'm gonna be adding into my overnight oats and maybe even just my plain up oatmeal from time to time. Delicious, brilliant idea, simple, love it. This might be my favorite thing I've eaten for this entire cookbook.
That's really good. I would be lying if I said I didn't have this breakfast also yesterday. I had this breakfast also yesterday. It's that good. 2 days in a row.
And you said you were customizing it differently every day, right?
Well, yesterday I put peanut butter in. Today I put the recommended 2 tablespoons of chopped walnuts. I give it an S. So good.
Coming in at our number 7 spot is another dessert. Chocolate peanut butter rocket fuel, coming to us courtesy of Karina Inkster and her book, The Vegan Athlete. For a fun desserty type snack, we're gonna make this thing that she calls chocolate peanut butter rocket fuel. This is like kind of like big chocolate clusters, and I'm really excited to make this. And all you have to do is just heat up a double boiler, throw in a cup of chocolate. If you want to do chopped up chocolate chips, whatever you want. You let that all melt down. Do a double boiler style, and if you don't know what that means, you basically put a little bit of water at the bottom of a small saucepan, put like a glass bowl on top, and then just let the steam warm it up so it melts nicely. And then your chocolate's not gonna burn. Don't get any water in here because it'll seize up and make it super hard to work with. You throw a cup of peanut butter in there. So after that peanut butter and the chocolate is melted nicely, you can throw in your mix-ins. She recommends a half a cup of shredded coconut, half a cup of rolled oats, and then a quarter cup of any nuts you want. I'm using almonds, and a quarter cup of any dried fruit. I'm using dried cranberry. She also recommends a tablespoon of maple syrup or agave nectar. I'm not sure why. The chocolate seems sweet enough for me. I'm gonna throw it in anyway because I'm following the recipe. Mix that all together. Let that chill for about 10 minutes, and then you're gonna put like tablespoon-sized dollops onto a parchment on a cookie sheet, and then let that freeze in the freezer. Would you like a chocolate? I can't remember what they're called. Oh, no. Hands, please. Hands, please. Nope, you don't get any. No! Hands, please. Thank you.
Oh, it's hard.
What do you think? I don't know what that face means. You're either really enjoying it or you're confused. The second one?
Do you put everything in that one cupboard in here? Why is there a random raisin in there?
Do you like it?
Except for the cranberry part.
There's a couple
it's
cranberries.
so hard.
I think I put them in the freezer. I think they were just supposed to be in the fridge.
Oh,
So maybe let it.
good job reading the recipes.
Well, I wanted it set.
I'll give an A if it was actually in the fridge, but I'll give it a B because it was in the freezer.
Well, make it an A because that's what the author intended.
So A.
I like that. Peanut butter,
Cranberry
chocolate, coconut. That's yummy.
Ooh, something's chewy in there. It's like a chocolate turtle with cranberries.
I didn't have any cranberries.
What would you give it?
An S.
Yeah, it's really good. I would eat those again.
Is there almonds in here?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is I think you need to put more of the mixed berries and the nuts because.
Full almond.
Yeah, I would cut them up. It's hard to evenly disperse everything.
There's nuts in there.
There's a full almond.
Yeah, I would cut them up a bit more.
I didn't get any nuts or cranberries.
These are really good though. I call this an S for sure. It's really simple and easy. I love it a lot. And it took no time to make. They're really, really quick to make. So this is a really good, simple, easy dessert. Not whole food plant based because of the chocolate chips, but if you wanted to just use cocoa powder and some maple syrup, it'd be closer.
They're not whole food plant based.
Because there's sugar in it. You know that?
Oh.
Yeah, but you could make a version of this. Maybe let us know if you want us to try to make a version of this that's more whole food plant based. Coming in at number 6 was one of my personal favorite meals of the year, was a Better Burger Wrap. That comes to us from Plant U's Scrappy Cooking from our friend Carly Bedrug. For dinner tonight, we're making a Better Burger Wrap. This is another one of Carly's staple recipes in here is this vegan ground beef. So I'm curious to try it out because it uses sunflower seeds, eggplant, carrot, oats. It's a cool idea. It's something I want to play with. So we have to make a flax egg.
Oh, that's hard.
Oh, look at this one over here.
You gotta lay an egg?
Gotta lay a flax egg.
Good luck.
Don't mind the adventure music in the background. The kids are watching up. So basically, we're gonna make this and then cook it with a little bit more onion and garlic, and then put it into a wrap with whatever burger toppings we want. Seems pretty simple enough. So to make this ground beef, I've already been soaking some sunflower seeds in some warm water for the last 20 minutes. Basically, we're gonna add all the other vegetables into the food processor and then just pulse it until it's down to like a ground consistency. Then we're gonna add the flax egg, and then we're going to bake it for just about 25 minutes. And then it recommends broiling it for 2 minutes to make it crisp on top. So stop yakking, Wooly, and get on it.
Yeah.
Get to it, Wooly.
Yeah.
Boom. I made some chips too, using the dough prickle brine that was left over from the other day. Alright. Mm-hmm.
You help me?
I like that a lot. I have to go help Annie wrap her burger. I'll tell you what I think in a second. Stay tuned.
Later.
I really like it.
Yeah? You're having yours as a bowl with rice.
Yeah, it's not like I'm talking about this, right?
Yeah, the burger thing.
It's not like overpowering. It's not trying to taste like a meat taste. It's just like a really nice. It's just like a really nice, different way to have some protein. What's in it?
Sunflower seeds, carrot, eggplant, and then seasonings like soy sauce, chili powder.
It's really nice.
What?
Oh, stop it.
You really don't like it?
No, I do like it. Why'd you say that?
What did I say?
wanted
What?
to know if there was nuts or tofu or anything in it. I was curious.
Sunflower you can take to school. What part grossed you out, Annie?
Eggplant.
No, sunflower.
Oh,
Really?
you can't even taste it.
I know, it's fascinating. It doesn't even taste like that sunflower seed taste.
No, it's just fatty.
Well, how come you ended up with so many chips?
Oh, because I made them. What do you give it?
S. I would definitely ask for this again.
Annie?
A B.
A B?
It's really good because normally she doesn't like anything that's kind of like meat at all.
It's meaty, but it's not like, it doesn't taste like a Beyond Burger. But it's still got a nice spice mix in there. Yeah, this is an S. Like, just the fact that you can take this to school. It's not just another tofu thing. I'd never know that this is sunflower seeds. If you made a bowl too.
Okay. The meat had a good texture and flavor. Sometimes I feel like has a weird aftertaste.
This does?
No, sometimes, but this doesn't.
Oh, yeah? Nice. So you'd like that? And you can use that in so many things.
I know.
That'd be good on top of nachos.
Can you turn it into a patty?
I think you'd have to have more of a binder. I think it's meant to be like a ground beef.
And a little sweet, but
It's sweet?
the meat a little bit.
There's nothing in there that's sweet, though. It might be your toppings. Who would you give it?
S.
Nice.
It's good when you don't look at it.
But it's a B for you?
Maybe like an A minus.
Oh, upgrade.
Like a bad A.
Gotcha. Just interrupting this top 10 list really quickly to let you know about something that is happening again right now. The Bold Bundle. If you're new to this channel, the Bold Bundle is a new version of the Thrive Bundle that we have showed in the past. It is a collection that is packed full of various ebooks, courses, guides, workout plans. It has an estimated value of around $4,500 if you were to buy all of the ebooks together, but they are offering it for a discount price of $50, but only between January 25th, scratch that, December 25th, and January 4th. So don't sleep on it, otherwise the price goes up significantly. Link in the description down below, or you can get it right here. All right, back to the top 10. Coming in at number 5 is one of our actually more recent recipes that we reviewed, which is a whole wheat focaccia, which came to us from Pamela Anderson's book, I Love You. Before you watch this, just know I did a lot of swaps here, so it's technically our recipe that I ended up putting in our cookbook, but it was heavily inspired by Pamela's recipe, so I wanted to give it a little bit of love here. I'm gonna try my hand at making Pamela's whole wheat focaccia bread. It's interesting that she calls it whole wheat because it has 1 cup of whole wheat, then 3 cups of all-purpose flour, and 1 cup of whole spelt flour. Whole wheat? I don't know. There's a little bit of whole wheat in there. Anyway, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna see if I can't make this entirely whole wheat. And I'm also gonna swap out the 1 cup of olive oil she's got in here with aquafaba. I do not know if this is gonna work. This might be a spectacular fail, but if it works, it's a game changer. To be able to make something delicious like a focaccia using completely whole grains, and by whole grains I mean whole wheat, obviously, and aquafaba instead of a cup of oil, which is 1,600 calories. Not that I'm gonna eat the whole thing myself in one go, although I could. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get our yeast mixture going. So I'm just adding a tablespoon and a quarter of yeast with like a pinch of coconut sugar to some warm water, just like a quarter cup of warm water. Here, and we're gonna let that sit for about 5 minutes until it starts to activate. While that's going, we're going to mix all of our flour into our stand mixer and let that just kind of spin around so everything breaks up a little bit. And we're gonna add in a tablespoon of salt here. And then we're going to add in, she's calling for half a cup of olive oil. So we're gonna be adding in half a cup of aquafaba here. And then we're gonna add in a cup and 3/4 of water along with our yeast mixture once it's starting to foam up nicely. And we're gonna let that whir around, mixing for about 5 minutes. She says to transfer the dough to an oiled bowl. We're gonna transfer it to an aquafaba bowl. And we're gonna let that sit for an hour until it's doubled in size. After that, we're going to drizzle a quarter cup of olive oil to an 8x13 rimmed baking sheet. Again, aquafaba. Don't know if this is gonna work. We're gonna find out. She says it will seem like an abundance of oil. That's what we want. So we're gonna transfer the dough to that pan, and then we're gonna use our hands to press and stretch the dough across the pan, and then drizzle another quarter cup of olive oil over top. And we're gonna cover and place in a warm spot until airy and doubled in size for another 30 minutes. At this point, we're gonna be preheating the oven to 450 degrees Fahrenheit. And once the dough is finished rising, this is where we get fun. We're gonna remove the cloth and use our fingertips to dimple the dough all over. And we can add whatever we want on top. I bought this whole tub of cherry tomatoes just for the focaccia, and Annie ate all but 2 of them. So the dressings on this are gonna be mostly olives and rosemary. Maybe I'll put some jalapeno on here. That could be fun. Some pickled jalapeno, red chili flake, a little spice to it. Yeah. It smells so good. I know it would be much prettier just to put this on the focaccia and let it bake like that, but then you got all that stem, and I don't want to eat that. So I'm gonna pull off just the chunks of them, like this. And then we are going to sprinkle it with some of this lovely flaky sea salt I have, and we're gonna bake until golden, which she says is 20 to 25 minutes. I'm so looking forward to this. I want this to work so badly. So know that this isn't necessarily a review of this recipe, because I'm sure it's great. This is a review of can you make this whole food plant-based. One thing that's a little frustrating with this recipe is it just says bake until golden, 20 to 25 minutes, and that's it. It doesn't say if you should let it rest, if you can eat it right away. I assume it's more like a pizza. You don't need to let it sit, because it doesn't have to bake inside, right? More like bread. What's that light for? Well, I actually realized that this recipe is entirely mine. Because, well, when I say entirely, it's I didn't invent focaccia. But I've totally swapped out the flours and I made it oil-free, if it works. So I'm gonna take a photo of it just in case I like it enough to put it in our new cookbook. So if I did, the link is in the description down below and you can get this recipe in that if you don't already have a copy of our book yet. It just came out like 2 weeks ago when this video airs. And yes, I will mention that this recipe of ours was heavily influenced by Pamela's, which is, I'm sure, influenced by all the million of focaccias that came before it. It's kind of a staple. It's hard for anyone to claim it as their focaccia, but at least I can say this is a whole food, plant-based focaccia, as much as it can be with flour that's processed, but not really, because you're just grinding up the mill. It's still a whole grain. Let me know in the comments down below what you think of all this. Soft. I think it's supposed to be a little soft and doughy. It hasn't. She didn't say how long to rest it for. That's pretty good. I get some balsamic vinegar, eh?
It's really salty though because of the olives. I don't think the olives were like.
Well, I think also you might have gotten there's some big chunks like this. So that's the coarse sea salt. So you might have gotten like.
Yeah, but also the olives just make it salty also.
So you don't have to use olives though, right? You can put whatever you want in this.
Yeah.
Any herbs, like the olives are optional.
It's good.
It's really good.
Put it in the cookbook.
Done. This is so good. Willie will be so upset when she sees this.
It looks good.
This with some good balsamic vinegar.
You make like a pattern.
Pretty pretty. I give this an S.
Same. But maybe A because it's too salty.
All right, Willie, are you actually gonna eat this?
No, just a bite.
Because of the gluten-free,
So squishy.
right?
Yeah, that's really good.
What would you give that?
An A.
That's why I think it's too salty.
Is your tummy gonna be okay later?
I don't know.
But was it worth it?
I don't know yet.
Let me know if you want to see me play around with this thing, because this I am very excited about this bread. Right? I know what you're doing. It's the right move.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Good.
Right? What about some tomato sauce on top? Like make it like a pizza bread. Right?
What?
A focaccia. A focaccia. Huh?
Can I take this off?
Yeah. If you don't like the rosemary, you can take it off.
Maybe an S because it's really fluffy.
Right? You know what's crazy? So I used aquafaba instead of oil in this. Right? So compared to the original recipe, this is half the calories and 10% of the fat of the recipe that I was taking it from. Crazy, right? But it's tasty, right?
Yours.
Coming in at number 4 are the best marinated lentils and crispy smashed potatoes from Angela Liddon and the cookbook Oh She Glows Every Day. Excuse the dishwasher sounds. It's a dishwasher. But you never complain about the audio in these videos, so I appreciate that, even though there's things like dishwashers and there's a Rufus eating over there somewhere. Tonight's dinner is going to be the best marinated lentils and crispy smashed potatoes. Ooh. I'm making both of these at once, so, you know, understand that as you're watching, we're gonna jump back and forth a little bit, but we're gonna get the potatoes going first. It's pretty simple. It's basically you boil the potatoes, then you smash them down, and then you bake them. So the potatoes take a beat to do. It's like an hour worth of time here. So we're getting started on this early. And then while they're cooking, at some point you make a avocado garlic aioli. She recommends using a homemade vegan mayo. She even has a recipe in the book, and I was gonna make it, but of course it calls for a cup of oil, and you know me, I'm not gonna put a cup of oil in my dinner. Luckily, Wooly accidentally made silken tofu when she was trying to make silken yogurt. So I've got this really thick silken tofu that's mayo-like. It tastes beanie-ish. I'm gonna add some apple cider vinegar to it to give it that mayo tang, but I'm looking forward to this. I think it's gonna be tasty. It's really simple. What do you want to try the crema? The garlic avocado
Did you
crema?
just make this the other day?
No, this is brand new.
Creamy.
Wait for the garlic.
Oh yeah, I taste the garlic. We're all gonna have bad breath.
Normally I would do these in like an instant pot, but I'm just gonna do them on the stove like she says. Cooking the lentils and then adding all the other ingredients to flavor them. You know what? I changed my mind. I lied. I'm gonna do them in the instant pot because it seems silly to me to cook these on the stovetop. So it was busy in the kitchen, and I neglected to turn the Instant Pot into the quick release when I was supposed to, and so the lentils got a little mushier than they probably should be. They look very beautifully cooked in the photo. Not so much here. This is the nailed it situation. Nailed it! But they're gonna taste delicious, right, Woody?
That's what you say.
The one thing I think I'm missing from the lentils is just some cherry tomatoes she recommends mixing into them. I missed it on the grocery list, so we don't have that. So we're missing that pop of little flavor from that. But otherwise, the lentils are pretty simple too.
7, 6. Those things. Look at those things. Oh.
Okay. Another thing worth noting is that in both of these recipes, it calls for a little bit of oil for the lentils as part of the marinade that goes on top of the lentils, and on the potatoes for just drizzling over top to help them crispen up. And use aquafaba for both of those. Aquafaba, for those who don't know, is the liquid that's left in a can of chickpeas. It's magical liquid. Don't throw it out.
That?
That you're gonna love. That is a sun-dried tomato.
I don't like sun-dried
Oh,
tomatoes.
please get some of that in your mouth. You're gonna love it so much.
I don't like sun-dried.
Hey, yo, what?
Everywhere.
It's part of it. Please try it with
I
it.
hate sun-dried tomatoes. They're disgusting.
Annie, really? They're salty.
Okay, this is a full bite, right?
Okay, full bite.
It's good.
You did such a 180. And then on the side of this, I'll probably add some peas or something just to add some greens to the dish because it's a bit vacant of vegetables.
It's really good.
Yeah?
I like this cookbook. We should cook from it more often. It's all mixed together.
Oh, okay.
As a meal, it's very good. It just tastes really good all together.
What do you give it?
S.
It's spicy.
Spicy. It's garlicky.
Spicy.
Okay. I thought you liked spicy.
It's too spicy. It's good. The sauce is good. It's just spicy.
Oh, okay.
A S minus.
Oh. Okay, that's pretty good. Ephraim?
Potatoes are pretty good. Like Mom said, it tastes like potatoes.
But with the sauce
The
on top.
sauce,
That potato wasn't cooked.
really garlicky.
Too garlicky?
Yeah, a bit.
Yeah. What do you think of them though?
I mean, the lentils, I'll give a B plus. And potatoes, I'll give a A. Because, I'm just saying, not the best potatoes I've ever had. The best potatoes are like those like mini ones. And they like have like the crispy whatever skin. They're like pop in your mouth. You go like, you know?
I have to say something about the sauce. It tastes like something you would get in a restaurant.
Is that in a good way?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a very good note. Thank you. Those lentils are so much better than I thought they were going to be. They're called the best marinated lentils, and so I was like, that's a huge claim. This lives up. These are, I wouldn't think to have this. I thought this was going to be like an F. That's an S for me. Potatoes are awesome. I like the smashed potato format. We haven't really done that before.
Mini potatoes.
Yeah, mini potatoes are better because you get more. Delicious. I might have put too much garlic in, but I kind of just did what she said. She said one
My
large.
breath is gonna stink.
Aioli is great. Reduce the garlic by half, maybe. If I reduce that aioli, it'll be an S for sure. But it's just maybe an A. Annie's still my dinner. Coming in at number 3 is another dessert, and maybe my favorite dessert and discovery of the year: homemade Butterfingers. Coming to us from Healthy Girl Kitchen and author Danielle Brown. Kitchen party, everyone's here. Everyone's gonna help me make dessert. Oh, I'm making homemade Butterfingers. I love Butterfingers. It was like one of my favorite chocolate bars. So if I can find a healthier version of that, I will be a happy man.
What are you, Bart Simpson?
For this seems simple enough. I gotta grind some cornflakes up and then mix it together with some peanut butter, maple syrup, pinch of salt. So if you're like me and you have peanut butter that's been in the fridge and it's kind of solidified, natural peanut butter, and it's hard to stir, my recommendation is to put it in the microwave for 15, 30 seconds, just long enough to make it stirrable again. It would just be easier. Otherwise, you're having an unpleasant time. You want to have a good time when you're cooking. If you don't microwave it, you're gonna have a bad time. Here's a pet peeve I have with some recipes. So it says it makes 12. Fair. That's great to know. But then it says form into little bars and add to a baking sheet. That doesn't, does that frustrate you when you see stuff like that?
What?
Like when it says it makes 12, but it says form into little bars, but it's like, is that like a quarter cup? Is it 2 tablespoons worth? Like how much mixture? Because otherwise it feels like I've got to do all the math myself. Where if you've already made this, you can help me out a little bit. But even to say make it like the size of a golf ball, make it the size of 2, just give me something to give me a contextual point of reference. I know.
Holding them.
I know she's holding them, but I don't know how big her hands are. Okay, because I'm a nerd, I added some math to it. So it was 504 grams for the whole mixture. So divided by 12, that's 42, which is roughly like 3 tablespoons. I think this is an 1/8 of a cup. So
Talk nerdy to me.
So I just measured this down. And that's 3 tablespoons, baby.
Oh, yeah.
That's how we roll. So it's roughly 3 tablespoons or like a heaping eighth of a cup, but 40 or 42 grams.
Hi, welcome back to the cooking show.
And then we melt some chocolate. And then you make like the little ball of these things with everything else. Put them in the freezer, you melt the chocolate, and you dip them in. So that's what it does. So as you can see, there's a big difference between the Butterfingers you start dipping with and the ones you end with, because the amount she tells you for chocolate runs out by the end. You gotta stretch it pretty thin. Maybe 1 tablespoon of coconut oil. It would just help thin it out a bit more and make it smoother and spread a bit better, I think.
Oh my gosh, who pooped on the tray?
I did.
Annie.
You guys are being mean. It does look like a lot like poop. Who wants poop? Me.
Well,
What do you think?
tastes like one, but it's a bit too chocolatey.
Yeah, we needed to find a way to make the chocolate thin spreader.
But it has the right texture, has the right flavor. Good.
It's really good.
Right.
Really good.
Wow, yeah. That's really good. Peanut buttery, crunchy, chocolatey. Get better than that.
Butterfinger was my favorite chocolate bar as a kid, so this has got a lot to live up to in my brain. Oh my god, I just had like an experience. This is so good. Makes me feel like I shouldn't eat it. That's how good it is. But I know there's a fair amount of chocolate on there, but it's a lot healthier than the actual chocolate bar would be. Holy cow. This brings me right back to my childhood. I'm kind of sad that I know how to make this now, because I'm probably gonna make this way more than I should. Coming in at our number 2 spot are potachos. Coming to us not only from fellow Canadian, but fellow Torontonian, Sam Turnbull, and her book, Craving Vegan. Tonight for dinner, I'm making potachos. It's what you think. It's like, instead of using, tortilla chips, you're slicing potatoes and making nachos on top of them. So this is interesting. It says it takes an hour and a half, which feels like way too much time to make nachos. So we've got to make a tofu crumble with a bunch of spices and some stuff. So you're gonna bake that for, I think, like half an hour, flipping it in between. So the most complicated thing about this is it's just a lot of steps. You've got to slice the potatoes and then let them soak in the water for about 20 minutes so they get nice and crispy. Make sure you pat them dry in between though. You gotta bake those. So she calls for using spray oil in these potatoes. I have some alfalfa, so I just spread a little over top. I don't know if it's gonna do anything, but it can't hurt, and I don't wanna use spray oil. Gotta make a roasted red pepper cheese sauce that's in the book, which means literally roasting it on your oven and then wrapping it in tin foil so that it can like steam inside. And then for this roasted red pepper cheese sauce, once we've got this pepper finished roasting, we're gonna leave it in this tin foil. Like 15, ooh, it's hot, it's like a hot potato. We're gonna leave that in there for a little bit. And then we're just gonna blend everything together for that into a blender. And then put it off to the side so that we can pour it on over top at the end. Again, this is not a complicated meal. It's just there's a lot of moving parts to it. You gotta kind of like, you gotta pay attention when you're doing it. And then toppings. So you can cilantro, tomato, I got all those things. Guacamole. There's a lot of things going on here. Potacho. So we're gonna take all these toppings and just put them on the table, and people can kind of like take a chunk of these potachos and then just load them up however they want to.
Jalapenos give a nice little kick.
Yeah? How's the rest of it?
Pretty good. Tasty.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You like the sauce?
What is the sauce?
It's like a red pepper sauce.
I like nachos, but good.
Yeah. What would you give it?
An S.
Nice. To your plate. Ooh.
Oh, it's good.
Tofu's too plain? Or maybe just more of it.
Spice it up.
I think you could just double the sauce, and so it's really thicker on the tofu too.
Some stuff.
Yeah. I think the tofu.
Plus.
What's that?
S plus.
Yeah?
The toppings, the potatoes, and the tofu, and the sauce.
No, it just comes together really nice.
It's good.
Mmm.
Tastes like nachos, but without the fried chips, which is probably good because I really like fried chips. So it's probably good to have an alternative.
The thing about this,
Real food.
it was time consuming.
Yeah.
It's also really versatile. Oh my god. Like, ooh, a jalapeno. It's saying hello. Hello, Napino. I love this. This is an S for me. Not you.
Yeah, it's really good.
But it's just, if you're gonna, this is like a weekend meal. It says in the book it takes an hour and a half, and then it's not lying.
Why would you choose that for a weeknight?
It looked awesome. And it was.
Your daddy is awesome.
Oh, thanks, Annie. Because I'm hardcore.
You were a little stressed out.
I'm a little stressed out. In our number one spot, something that Annie, as you will see in this video, actually went back and got seconds of, pesto lasagna. And this recipe comes to us courtesy of Love and Lemons and author Janine D'Onofrio. Or Love with Lemons. I'm not entirely sure the name of this book. It's got a couple. I've been referring to it as Love and Lemons. Maybe that's her handle. I should do more research about this. I'm sorry. Apologies for the dishwasher sound. It is very aggressive right now. For dinner, we're gonna make something from this section of the book that says lasagna layers. I instantly fell in love with this idea of making a pesto lasagna because it's something I've never done before. So I'm gonna give that a whirl. Their recommendation for vegan lasagna is just to skip the cheese, but we do have some diet cheese that I'm gonna put on top. So for their pesto, it asks for just a ton of basil leaves. I bought as much as I could get at the grocery store. They didn't have like the bunch I was hoping for, so I'm gonna do my best, but I'll augment that with spinach. And I'll do my best. I'm just worried, even though it says you only need a cup of the pesto, I'm just worried it's not gonna be enough. Yeah. No, I can't, sorry. Oh, because I'm being a jerk. I will do my best, Annie, because I love you. So the layers here, I'm gonna use spinach, peas, and artichoke hearts from a can, drained and chopped up. So this should be simple enough. I'm actually making this gluten-free as well. For those that follow the channel know that my wife is gluten-free, so we're using this Catelli brand of noodles. They don't actually need to be pre-cooked, but because of the pesto, I'm just worried they're not gonna cook properly, because usually you just load the sauce around them and it absorbs it, but I'm a little nervous, so I am gonna pre-cook these a little bit. Although honestly, it doesn't tell you how long, because you're not supposed to do it. This should come together simple enough, and then I'm gonna make a tofu ricotta, which I've made before, but because I've also got the pesto in other places, I mean, I'm really just gonna, I think, crumble up the tofu. I think I'm just gonna do that actually. I'm gonna go lazy with it tonight. What is their vegan ricotta? Maybe I won't go lazy.
1 minute, 37 seconds later.
So I'll make their vegan ricotta, which is very similar to ours, although it adds red pepper flakes. That's exciting. I'm gonna swap out that olive oil in both the pesto and the vegan ricotta with alfalfa, which is chickpea juice. I'm gonna make the pesto first, so that way I can just make the ricotta in it right away, and I'm not gonna bother cleaning it up, because if a little bit of pesto flavor gets in there, that's all right, eh, Wooly? It's called Lazy Hacks by Jeremy and Wooly.
My hair is crazy.
Me too.
I need a haircut.
Yeah, maybe we'll swap.
No.
My friend Tommy wants me to cut my hair all the way bald. What do you think?
It's already all the way bald.
Okay. I have hair on the sides. This is hair. See that? What do you think? Should I just straight down but keep the beard? Let us know. Oh God.
Look.
Call the doctor, quick. Probably a scab from you picking at my head.
I did not pick it. It was just sitting there.
Do you do that to your husbands, or did your wife do that to you? Or significant others do that to you? Picking your little stuff in your head? Is that a thing? That's her favorite thing to do.
It's not my favorite thing to do.
No?
No.
What's your favorite thing to do?
Sleeping.
Just coasting through life, this one.
Reading, watching TV, hanging out, making things with 6-year-olds.
She's a teacher, just so you know, that's not creepy. So note to self, if you are, note to self, I'm talking to you. If you are using the Catelli noodles like we did and you try to pre-cook them, they don't do that very well, do they? No, they were really clumpy and gross, as you can see, but we tried to make the best of it, even though I had a little temper tantrum while we were doing it. But Wooly persevered. And I accidentally started putting the herbs on top, even though you put them on at the end. Now I know. Lily's got a town council meeting, so she can't join us.
I don't know if they can see me or hear me.
Nobody's there.
They are there. There's 2 people in there looking at computers.
Have a good meeting. Hope you enjoy dinner.
Thanks.
Eat it with that. What do you think of dinner?
It's good.
We've had it already?
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's a bit too salty though.
Too salty?
A little bit. Like too sour. Too sour.
He likes it.
It's good.
It's good though? The pesto works?
Yeah. I like it.
Artichokes are gross.
You don't like the artichokes?
They're fun. Yeah. Never mind, they're not fun.
It depends on what piece of the artichoke you get. Sometimes they're really smooth and creamy, and sometimes they're a bit harder, I think.
Some of these noodles aren't really cooked.
Yeah, the noodles were a real journey. I almost lost my mind over those noodles.
Yeah, it's kind of dry.
The top one is, for sure. Because we ran out of
No,
noodles.
just like the whole thing.
The whole thing's been dry?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my good. I don't think that's a word.
Oh my god. This is really good. I don't know why I've never thought to make
Whoa,
a
that's
pesto lasagna.
That's a crunchy noodle.
This is fantastic. Yeah, I can see why. It's definitely on the saltier side. And I cut down the salt from her recipe, but pesto lasagna is an excellent choice for a lasagna. It's kind of fresh. I can see it. This would be really good in spring.
Mushy peas.
Annie, did you go back for seconds? It is not only Annie approved, it's Annie got seconds. Wooly said to say she liked it. It's an all-around winner in this house. I hope you enjoyed this compilation of our top 10 recipes of the year. Let us know in the comments down below which of these recipes that you are most likely to try. And if you want to add some more to your own list, don't forget to pick up our ebook. Link in the description down below. Like this video so YouTube knows to share it with other people. And obviously, they want you to watch this video next. You can subscribe while you're doing that. And, you know, just sit back and have a good time. Because if you're watching this while it's live, it's the holidays, you know? It's time. You earned it.